that has made comebacks happen, that has made upsets happen, and we'll be seeing if they can make it happen again today. Day 3 of TI11 group stages, GG versus EG. Let's go. I'm trying to get into this game. Quick question for you, though. Quick question. Are we going to be seeing Tofu do like big disruptor things? This is one of those games where once he gets Aghanim Scepter, everything starts to turn around for EG. How quickly do they have to end the game, basically, before they start to feel a little bit uncomfortable by the direction the game is going?
Well, I think this is an interesting thing for us is the fact that Tofu is the one that's playing the Disruptor. So I think this is going to be a relatively fast Aghanim Scepter. And from what we've seen from a lot of these Ag Scepters, it can be very, very scary. I think the biggest thing for me making the switch between the Disruptor as well as the Marcy is they're much more focused on getting this early Aghanim Scepter and playing around these Static Storms and being much more active, whereas Celery is just going to be a bit of a sacrificial lamb. I feel like it's going to be very, very hard for him to get a BKB unless they have an amazing lane and they start to get a roll on early on. Being a position 5 Marcy feels pretty bad because you really want to have your BKB and you really want to have your Basher. So if Celery doesn't go on the, you know, the podium for trying to get the Malk Award here, then maybe he might have a good time. But I like the change, but also I feel like it's going to be pretty rough to be position 5 Marcy in this game because you're going to jump in onto like a Terrorblade or jump in onto a Primal Beast and you're just going to die pre-BKB. So.
My keyboard is not working.
They'll be like, well, you're just dead, friend. You don't have BKB, no Basher. Might not even have the early level 6 for the Unleash Shield. But we'll see how this game actually does pan out as we have gotten underway. EG did manage to snag the double runes. GG got the same. And let's talk about how these lanes are going to pan out. We saw this lane earlier today, the Pangolier versus Primal Beast lane, and Primal Beast was, by and large, able to dominate. Didn't dominate to the degree where Pango got nothing, but still put a lot of pressure onto the Pangolier in general. Will we see that repeated here, despite having different players in this particular matchup?
Yeah, I feel like Primal just has a whole lot of good spells up against the Pangolier. He does really well against melee heroes. Obviously, Pango has 2 mobility spells, so he should be relatively okay, but it's more about the fact that I think Primal will always have kill threat on him. And we even saw in that game with LGD versus RNG that between these 2 heroes, it's about who makes the first good rotation. And we've seen what EG have been able to do with his Primal Beast in the past, whereas Pangolier, I think he needs to do a little bit more and kind of needs to wait a little bit longer for him to actually make these rotations, whereas the Primal Beast, you just onslaught in, and as soon as you get on top of anybody with the Pulverize, like they're going to be dead. You're going to have plenty of damage to kill some of these squishy heroes, whereas for Gaimin Gladiators, the Rolling Thunder is going to be a little bit harder for him to actually hit. Also, one other thing that I wanted to have a talk about with this Sven into the Drow matchup. The best thing about this Sven matchup for the Drow is the fact that Warcry is plus armor. So the thing is with Drow is the marksmanship only pierces natural armor. Yes, up against the Terrorblade, he has a lot of natural armor, but when you combine this with the Sven, who's going to give, what, at some point give almost plus 20 bonus armor, everybody gets a plate mail for free.
Top lane, well, Crit's going to be probably delayed in being able to afford a plate mail for himself because Duracho kills him off for the first blood up in this top lane. So good way to start the matchup. One thing about this lane as well, you know, you've been reminding us people all the time about the fact that the Broodmother doesn't play with the Spiderlings as much, given that this is the ultimate now. This is not the main hook of the hero in the laning phase anymore. But that also means that heroes like the Drow Ranger don't feel as threatened as early. She might be threatened now, though, because she's been left all alone, and she does end up getting eaten alive. Celery left the lane. He got scouted leaving the lane because they came up and Crit saw him, and he's like, hey, they don't have support here. Let's just go on the Drow. Cool, great.
Yeah, I mean, plus 35 damage at level 1. Yeah, that's pretty good. It's a pretty good ability you got there, Broodmother, and that's why I think that this hero started to rise in prominence a lot, is just her abilities early on are so strong. Yeah, you don't have the babies to play around, and you're not this kind of gimmicky hero. Oh, I fall though. Okay, he's going to be okay. You're not this kind of like gimmicky hero where it's like you just lose the lane because you can't deal with the babies. It's more the fact that this hero is a very, very strong laner herself, and then the babies just kind of counteract, I mean, go over the top of that, right? Where you hit that level 6, you've already kicked them out because you've got things like Insatiable Hunger. It's hard to play around the web. She's so tanky, so hard to kill her early on. And then she just takes over the lane with the babies and takes your tower. So I think we're going to see a whole lot more of this Broodmother, but these heroes who have at least ways to play against her.
See, they're actually going to put more aggression back onto Celery. They're going to try for a kill here, but there is access to the Dispose, tossing back the Brood, and that's where most of the damage was coming from. So Celery is A-okay. Speaking of safe lanes, let's take a quick gander, a quick look at this bottom side of the map where Fly and RTZ going against Tofu and Ace. The interesting thing about how Fly's been playing this lane, he can just post up as the Sven. He's so damn tanky early on. A solitary point into Warcry. Most of the harass from this lane, he can just eat it up. And he knows he's never in really any proper danger of dying, provided he has enough mana for a Stormhammer. Just toss it back onto these heroes, bail yourself out of trouble, and just literally walk away in front of their faces.
Yeah, and I think that's the reason why I like this Sven as a position 5 much more than I do as a carry, just because you're able to do so much work in these lanes and just provide so much for your carry. Doing a good job at pressuring Ace here, but that's all they're really going to be able to do. They haven't been able to get a kill just yet, and they really need a rotation coming in from Arbed or either Crit if they want to try and get a kill here onto Ace on the bottom side.
Speaking of Arbed, here in this mid lane, him versus Boom. So far, Boom is actually the primary beneficiary of this. He's gonna, as I say that, just eat a young onslaught into the trample. My bad. As bottom, Ace and the crew actually managed to pressure Fly and get the kill onto the Sven. He was falling very, very low, but I don't even think they needed to wait out that long before they were like, wait a second, he's very far forward. We have Glimpse, we have Thunderclap. Let's just get this kill. Very nicely done.
Just being able to just take down the Sven, and that's some of the issues with you know, playing some of these melee supports is sometimes you do feel unkillable, right? And you just like, you're walking forward, you're like, I'm a Giga Chad, and nobody can touch me at all. Nobody can do any damage to me. And then you just get caught out by a lot of this magic damage, and you go, oh, okay, I actually do have to be careful. And nice little pick there for Nightfall. And this is the power of the Broodmother, right? Like, you know, Silken Bowler is a very, very strong spell. If you ever get caught out in any of these situations where you're having to stand and fight Insatiable Hunger a Broodmother, you just lose so much HP. And that's why I like this Shadow Shaman as well.
Shackles. Yep.
He
just set up for the Brood to continually put out this kind of pressure with Shackles. And as soon as Celery is dead, Diracho has to be backing off a little bit. Can't play that aggressively into it. You know, bottom, you were clamoring for a rotation. It is coming, good sir, as Arbed is making his way over. Onslaught will come through, connects first onto Tofu. And they are going to be able to get the kill before the Glimpse comes back in. But because of that Glimpse, they can't use the Pulverize onto Ace, so the Brewmaster will end up living. However, it also repositions Arbed, so he's a little bit closer back to where he was going anyway. Doesn't feel that bad, but very nicely done still. He gets his first rotation, gets a kill out of it as well. So a little bit of bonus gold in the back pocket as well.
Yeah, and I think this is the reason why that I'm favoring Primal Beast in this Primal Beast versus Pango matchup. It's just so much easier for Primal Beast to make these rotations in comparison with Pango. You can see usually these Pangoliers, they go for, you know, a lot more levels in the shield crash. But speaking of the Pango, he's coming towards the top side.
And he has a double damage rune fluke, so he's going to get the immediate damage out onto Nightfall. And they are going to be able to claim the kill off of him. He's the one that snags it too. So double damage, it works well. On the other side of the map, they did manage to get the kill onto Fly as well. So Gaimin Gladiators punching back in a hurry. Not going to allow EG to just dictate the entirety of this early game. They're going to try and make this a competitive affair. And the best part about it, he didn't need to commit the Rolling Thunder for that one. So it is still available if he wants to use it elsewhere. But he's being pulverized right now by Arbed. We have seen that this Primal Beast can actually 100-0 solo kill a Pango. So he needs to be careful.
Yeah, it's pretty scary when you see that the Pulverize comes out and how much damage Boom actually takes. So, Nightfall once again. This is the scary part about this lane, right? All they really have to stop the Shackles is the rebound. So if the Shackles comes out onto the Marcy, the Nightfall gets the free hit, or if, you know, they go forward onto Diracho, they have to try and hit the rebound, and as long as the rebound's on cooldown, there's not much that they can really do. Yeah, you can maybe dispose him out of the area, but that's about it.
Starting to become problematic as these levels accrue for Nightfall. The Brood only gets stronger from this point onwards.
Yep.
On the bright side, for the side of Gaimin Gladiators, they're not getting completely shut out and forced out of this lane down bottom. Ace is still getting something, but not as much by any stretch of the imagination as the Nightfall Broodmother, so their auras for EG will come way faster. They're going to try and secure a rune here for Boo. This is a very usable rune. It's an Invis. Invis rune on a Pango with Rolling Thunder available. Surely you have to go try and make something happen on the map, but they are walking underneath some vision, so if they go top, Nightfall knows this move is coming, and yep, he is playing much more carefully in the trees. They know exactly what's up. He's not going to get caught out by this.
No crit free courier. Thank you very much for that one. Gonna be okay with that. Oh, they're gonna kill. Okay, I was gonna say, if they kill Dracho here, then the rotation coming in from Boom is going to be all for naught. And you can see that they understand they kind of just have to make this lane switch. Nightfall is now level 6, got access to the spawn Spiderlings. Makes it very, very hard for this Drow Ranger to play the lane. And now they're going to give it towards the mid lane. But that's when you can see what happens here with Fly and Arbet. They get the onslaught going in. They're going to try and get a kill here on the Dracho.
Going with the onslaught, Diracho is going to be the primary target, and he is already brought down. Fly, too tanky on this fan, so he doesn't die. And immediately afterwards, they're not done just yet. They might try to go onto Tofu if they can catch the vision. But here come Ace and Celery. They're looking for revenge as well. Tofu gets pulverized. Will Fly be there with the Stormhammer in time? He's not just yet. Two heroes, though, caught in right after the Shackles connect from Crit. The trample from Abed. Not enough to kill off Celery, as Ace does go in with the Primal Split. First one of the game. Really wants to get Crit at least, so they find some degree of reprisal. But it doesn't seem like that's an option for them. As with RTZ being nearby, the life of these Broolings is also in question. So he has to escape. Ace comes back, but hits immediately. Do they have the Shackles just yet? Can they hold him down? No, they can't. The Stormhammer will be there. As Celery, he went in to stop this aggression, but the rebound ends up putting him in a dangerous position. Arbet tramples forward with the onslaught onto Ace, kills him, and Tofu sends him right back into a safe position. Yet again, shout out Tofu, says Arbet.
Arbet played that extremely well. Oh, now RTZ. I think they should be okay. They don't have to glimpse for another couple of seconds. So, yep, RTZ 10 feet. Oh, they have
Really
the
far
back,
for this.
though.
They actually glimpse back RTZ, but now he can just try and TP out. Do they have enough damage to stop him? Celery comes with this rebound literally 1 second too late. As he arrives, RTZ is gone. And they do manage to bring down Fly, but this is 4 heroes now playing in the bottom side of the map, all for the sake of trying to get the Fly kill on the Sphere. They absolutely have to put the pressure on the tower now. This tower has to fall immediately to make this movement worthwhile.
Yeah, I think they need to just try and do their best to get stuff out of the map right now. You can just see that EG are constantly getting this tempo going. They found Ace towards the mid lane, but Drunken Brawl is pretty strong, especially the Wind Panda. 15% evasion at level 1 feels goddamn good, especially when you're going up against a lot of these heroes that do a lot of physical damage early. But they're going to transition towards bottom. DD Rune on Arbet. Oh my god, the damage.
Oh my god. GG Rune on Arbet. Diraicho's gone. Wow, that was, well, that was something. They get a tier 1 middle, they get to defend their own tier 1 bottom, and they kill the Drow Ranger here. Everything coming up EG. And Arbet, he's glowing blue as he bleeds blue. Feeling like one of the most dangerous heroes on the map right now. Very close towards having his BKB as well. And the immediate response from GG, we don't see it just yet. We still don't have the Diffusal Blade from Boom. And slowly but surely, they're also losing the map control necessary to farm up these items to come back into the situation with.
Yeah, and I think this is the reason why that you can't be letting this Primal Beast through, right? You can just see how good of a tempo setter this hero is, can just transition onto some heroes like the Drow, heroes like the Pangolier, and just have solo kill potential. You know, you're giving up this Marcy who hasn't really been able to get the solo kill potential just yet because he is a position 5, so he needs to wait until he gets that unleashed. He needs to wait until he starts getting towards those scarier parts of having like the BKB +1. But this Primal Beast hero, man, like it has shown us time and time again that when you have these mid players who are just constantly playing it as this tempo setter, you're sprinting across the map, you're onslaughting things, you're killing stuff, you're solo killing people, that it just opens up the map for you. Nightfall literally has been not even a thought in my mind for like the last 5 minutes. I couldn't imagine what Gaimin Gladiators are even thinking about this Broodmother right now, but you just open up the map for RTZ as well as Nightfall to just kind of play these greedier kind of heroes, and Arbet's doing everything, and they've got the combination with Crit as well, and maybe they get to kill on the Boom.
What? Did you see that read that came in from these players? Down bottom, they will kill Fly on the side of EG, but Arbet literally knew exactly where the Pango was going to be. Catches him with the onslaught, they pulverize him to oblivion, and boom. That's his first death of the game. Won't be able to finish off the Diffusal Blade. And Arbet making sure to check in the trees so that they can go very freely onto this push. Mass Serpent Lords drop down. They use the Spider to make sure that they get this tower. And yeah, they're going to lose the tier 1 tower bottom, but who the hell cares? When at 13 minutes into the game here, Fluke, you're pushing the tier 2 successfully in the top lane. And now I've opened up an outpost already. GG, just not prepared for this kind of pace that EG is setting at the moment.
Yeah, EG are really setting a bit of a breakneck pace right now. They're getting very, very close towards the BKB for Arbet. You know, Nightfall almost has the Wraith Pack flying out to him as well. RTZ has already come up on the Dragonlance, getting close towards the Yasha. I think There might be a few shining lights here for Gaimin Gladiators. They're getting close towards the defusal here for Boom, but if he goes down once again, oh no.
Oh no, that's not supposed to happen. Boom. Oh, gets caught in top. Nightfall gets yet another kill. Yet again, Diffusal Blade delayed. That also put some gold on the coffers of Crit, who's getting closer towards having a Blink Dagger. But GG have had enough. They're smoked up en masse. They're coming to the top lane. I think they were maybe trying to bait earlier on with Boom, but they really want some revenge. But sadly, they just don't have the vision here. They can't even find the adequate glimpse. But as I say that, they finally get it out. Glimpse into the Static Storm. They will commit as many resources as possible to bring down Nightfall. So they do get the kill. This will also enable them to reclaim their outposts, get some positive vision back in their own jungle. But man, we just see the resource committal required for GG to make those kind of moves happen versus what EG has to do. And EG just happy to keep farming elsewhere on the map. While all this is happening, they're like, alright, sucks to be you, Nightfall, but we're still winning right now, so it's okay. And Nightfall just respawns with the Rave Pact already completed 14 minutes into this game.
Yeah, there's just a whole lot of resources that are just very, very hard for Gaimin Gladiators to try and get out on top. They have to, as you said, kind of overcommit for a lot of these kills. I think using the Static Storm this early on to kill somebody like Nightfall, who was at the top of the network, is definitely worth for them. They didn't have to split on Ace either, so they can still at least get another team fight going. They've got Boom to respawn. They can try and fight with the Rolling Thunder as well as the Primal Split. But the hardest thing for me is they still need to start hitting some of these item timings, right? They can't really force a tier 1 tower. You don't want to walk in towards Arbed, who I'd imagine is very, very close to his BKB. Yeah, he's only a couple hundred gold away from BKB. So if you overforce into something like a Primal Beast with an early BKB, you literally have no answers outside of the Drow Ranger. So if he's the one that's getting gored on, if he's the one that gets onslaughted, if he's the one that gets pulverized, then you don't really have an answer to this BKB'd Primal Beast, and kind of just going to lose the fight. I like the smoke up here as for. He's trying to utilize this this Primal Split as well as the Rolling Thunder. If they can catch Crit, if they can catch Nightfall again, they can take out this this Broodmother twice in as many minutes, then they're definitely going to start to feel good with how this game is going. But there's 4 EG members here as well.
Oh. Crit breaks the smoke onto 2. They know this move is coming. He also got the Hex out onto Boom, so no early Rolling Thunder. They've gotten the 1. Onslaught comes in onto Tofu. Hasn't been able to activate the Static Storm just yet. Flies, the one that gets slowed down by the Diffusal Blade. Glimpse back onto Nightfall. They really want to find that kill. Cycloned up into the air, and they forced a buyback from the Nyx Assassin. Will they drop the Static Storm? They have to. They got it on, down onto the Nightfall Brood, but unfortunately Arbed has BKB. He can just trample onto Derecho, bring down the Drow, and RTZ goes into the Metamorphosis, right-clicks down the Disruptor. Really wants to add another kill to his list to make it a triple. Ace doing his best to run away. The Piggy Pole is on. The Onslaught is chasing him, and there's the grab with the Pulverize, setting them up for a double kill on the Nightfall Brood. A full team wipe for the side of EG, and opening the path to the big man as they'll be rewarded with an Aegis.
Yeah, I really like that buyback that came out from Crit as well, right? He understood that if they just have that little bit of extra saves, that little bit of extra, you know, stuns and all that kind of stuff, they can continue this fight. I like what EG did in this replay as well. You can see that they separate 4 back. They get the BKB completed onto Arbed, and then they instantly engage. They get the buyback coming in from Crit, and they just walk in. The only one that gets caught by the Static Storm is going to be Nightfall here on the Broodmother, but with Arteezy coming in on the Terrorblade, I like seeing these Terrorblades get nice and active early on. Feel very, very strong when it comes to that Metamorphosis. And with 4 heroes going down nice and fast, they make it a 5th by taking down Ace with the Pulverize, and EG setting the tempo and really just kind of forcing Gaimin Gladiators to play some of these team fights perfectly. They did a really, really good job at just kiting them around, and I think this goes to show why this EG squad looks so dominant in these group stages so far, is they understand the perfect moments when to go in and when to go out.
Yeah. Speaking of knowing exactly when to go in and out, this Nightfall Broodmother, quick stat on the Broodmother, right? So you know when he got his Wraith Pact, I was interested because I was like, that seems abnormally fast. So in all of history, to be fair, Wraith Pact is a relatively new item, but there have been a total of 28 of these pickups on the hero. Only 6 times has it ever been picked up faster than this, and of those 6 times, 5 of them are Nightfall.
I feel like that happens more often than not when you see somebody who has like this obscenely fast item on a very specific hero. You look back at the stats and you're like, yeah, it's that one guy. Oh, Boom's been found out again, the Pulverize.
Yeah, he's
been
caught in the spot yet again. He got found last time, but they don't have the additional catch. This time around, Shadow Shaman is not there to lay down the shackles, so he gets out. All right. A little bit of a boon coming in from Boom, and now they know that there are some heroes that are not located towards other parts of the map. Do you think they try to exploit this timing and maybe go for a move towards middle?
Dire's top tower is under attack.
Yeah, that's the next kind of set of affairs, right? You know, going towards middle, trying to take this tier 2 tower. They are at least trying to get something going here, Gaimin Gladiators. They understand that this half of the map is the best pass for them to be in. It's the best place. They have a little bit of control. They've taken the tier 1 tower in the bottom lane. They've got their own tier 1 tower in their offlane as well, so they can try and at least push Arteezy out. But Arteezy's had a relatively free time, getting closer and closer to his own BKB, and Arbed comes in once again on the Celery.
Yep. Catches him. There's going to be a Stormhammer to hold him in position. Super easy kill. And they're not done just yet, as they now will look to take over the entire triangle, deny Gaimin Gladiators the ability to farm here. They still haven't taken the tier 1 tower, so they really want it, but they actually smoke up here. They want to keep this aggression going. They want to give them any piece of safety across the map. I mean, they're about to have access to the Pulverize once again, up in 4 seconds. They have BKB at the ready. And this time, Celery is nowhere nearby. Crit is here with the shackles, and he has Blink Dagger as well. I think our boy Boom is dead. Boom, get out. Let's see if he's got the Spidey senses, Fluke. And he's got the read.
I think he
He's
should
in the
be
trees
okay.
right now. Hasn't TP'd out yet.
TP, fam. TP.
Get out. Get out. Run
Oh,
away.
no.
Run away.
Oh, they don't know?
He has been caught.
Oh,
They got him. Found him. He tried his best. Tried to juke through the trees. But unfortunately, HY was not correct in this one. Don't stay in the trees. Get out of the trees and go home, my friend. He ends up dead instead. And while this was happening, Arteezy and the crew have just been pushing this tier 2 tower down bottom. It's already at half HP right now. It's kind of ridiculous how much space they have on the map to play with on the side of EG.
It's just that I think the biggest thing for me is like they only need these heroes to stay in pairs, right? Like Nightfall can do kind of whatever he wants. He's very, very tanky. It's hard to kill this Brood Mother. Fly and Arteezy are able to just stay together. They make the Terror Blade very, very strong now that they have the Warcry Shard as well. So Fly's just been able to make his boy a little bit more tanky. And then Arbed and Crit, they can just walk around and kind of just kill whoever they want. Blink Pulverize now is up and available for Arbed. Crit is able to blink around and help out with all this damage as well. If they feel like they want to have a team fight going, they can drop some Shadow Shaman Snakes. So EG, they have every tool in their arsenal available to themselves right now. And I think it's all about Gaimin Gladiators, just trying to find that next little opening they've got. Dyrachyo has a Shadow Blade now, building towards the BKB. Tofu doesn't even have a whiff of an Aghanim Scepter. But Ace now with his own Wraith Pack, so they can at least try and get these team fights going, but they need to fight well.
Ace needs to actually get some help to get him out of this bind that he's in at the moment. He wanted to get off the Primal Split. The only bright side is that Arbed did commit the BKB and quite a bit of mana.
Oh, they know they're in the trees.
In these trees. Yeah. Here comes the Rolling Thunder. Arbed blinks past the Rolling Thunder. They get onto Dyrachyo immediately with the Metamorphosis of the Terror Blade. Meta with the right-click damage melts through Dyrachyo. Tofu will follow him into the grave as well. And that's a triple kill for Arteezy in the midst of this fight. Arbed baits out the Rolling Thunder. They found Celery as well. Didn't even commit the Pulverize during the fight, so it's available to cancel the TP and kill off the young Celery Marcy. Oh my goodness, the dodge that Arbed did on that Rolling Thunder enables his team. And as soon as he goes down, they're like, well, actually, they don't have Rolling Thunder. There's nothing to actually protect the Drow. Go immediately onto Dyrachyo.
Yeah, you can just see here in the replay that Arbed, he got the blink in towards the trees. He onsorted up on towards Dyrachyo. Beautiful high ground ward. EG being able to commit on towards the end there. Fly place that when they decided to go for that tier 1 tower. Also sets them up for a tier 2 tower push. And it just goes to show that in these games here, when you're playing the best teams in the world, vision is oh so important. If they didn't have that high ground ward there, they wouldn't have known what was going in. I'd imagine they would have got caught out by the Rolling Thunder. And unfortunate for Gaimin Gladiators, they get absolutely wiped there. Could have been a good fight for them, but just getting caught out by a bit of vision. I think Arbed has been playing one of the best Primal Beasts we've seen all tournament so far.
Said Primal Beast will find himself getting glimpsed back into kinetic field.
Okay.
Cannot save the unfortunate crit Shadow Shaman, and will be forced to pop BKB to get out of here. I mean, GG had to smoke up, pop Primal Split, glimpse back as well, just to kill crit, so the side of EG, they'll definitely take it. But Gaimin Gladiators need to get something more out of this. They want the tier 1 tower in this mid lane. Rocks being thrown in by Arbed with the Aghanim Shard just to try and delay this push, but they're not brave enough to go and force this fight. And EG are far enough ahead that they don't necessarily need to. However, Gaimin Gladiators also demonstrating that they don't have a kind of lineup to be disrespected. At any given time, if you do get caught out, damage can start coming in quite a hurry. So EG doing the right thing by dodging when they're not favorable in the fights.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing for me that's kind of holding on a bit of hope here for Gaimin Gladiators is the fact that their team fight is very, very good. They have Unleashed, they have the Primal Split, they've got Rolling Thunder, they've got Static Storm. We've seen what these abilities have been able to do throughout the entirety of the group stages so far. So if they catch some people unawares, especially if Tofu is actually able to build himself towards an Aghanim Scepter, he's actually going to go for a Lotus early on. So if we get into a scenario where we do see like an Aghanim Scepter, it's going to be very, very hard for EG to play around their BKBs, but they're doing a good job right now just understanding to not feed a little bit too much of this advantage away. Interesting enough though, Nightfall's actually built an Aghanim Scepter on the Broodmother, so the Spinner's Snare was something that we talked about before the tournament even started, was the fact that the Spinner's Snare actually stops Primal Beast in his tracks. He does have Primal Beast on his team this time around, but might be something to keep in mind for some of these other heroes, and it means that it's just very, very hard for Gaimin Gladiators to get on the other side of the map without getting caught out by the Spinner's Snare, because it does a lot of damage, and it's a very long route, and if Abed is anywhere in the area, he will definitely jump on top of you, and he will try to kill you.
Sure, right now, although they're not playing Primal Beast on the side of Gaimin Gladiators, Boom is sad as hell seeing the Aghanim Scepter being available. He's like, damn it! Roots against Pangolier, such a good option to have. EG firmly in control of this game as they've melted down the tier 2 tower in this mid lane. Probably just waiting out the next Rosh, which will be available in another 15 seconds almost at this point. And when the big man is available, EG, they take it so fast with Arteezy.
Yeah.
Weirdly enough, he's at the top of the net worth, but the way he's itemized, he doesn't feel like the most uber farmed hero on the map, but he does feel very hard to kill. And GG, that's the thing for them, right? Their pretty much only option to win these team fights is to kill off both Arteezy and Abed. Doing one is possible. Doing both with the builds that they've gone for seems next to impossible at this point. So I really like the option as well from Arteezy, being like, who needs burst damage if I just don't die in these fights? He's even queuing up a Basher. I wonder if he's going to finish that off on this TB.
It seems like EG is starting to have a little bit of fun with this game. The Aghanim Scepter onto Nightfall, and then the Basher now on Arteezy. Hey, I mean, when you do 12k ahead of 25 minutes into the game, you feel very, very confident with how this game is going. You could try some weird and wacky stuff. Wouldn't hate to see, Abed try and do some different stuff right now. He's going to go for the Hex himself, and the Aghanim Shard is available onto Roshan. But it seems like EG want to try and get a pick first. They've decided to just leave the Roche pit for now. They're going to bring Arteezy over to try and just get a few more of these crit waves going. So now they're going to fully commit to the Roche pit. Aghanim Shard, I'd imagine, is going to go... Maybe you're going to give that to Crit. I wouldn't hate to see it. Onto Crit. Who else really needs it? Everybody else has theirs. Or maybe even onto the Broodmother.
Yeah, probably Brood.
Give it a Crit, come on.
Brood. Let's see. Who's going to click on it? Arteezy should be the one to pick up the Aegis. But it's the other goodies that we have to ask about. But nope, they give all the goodies to Arteezy. Gets the Demon Zeal, gets the Aegis. And he's changed his mind from the Basher, instead going and opting for this Chrysalis into the Daedalus. So he's survivable enough with the BKB Hurricane Pack that now he wants this raw damage. He wants to hit somebody 2-3 times and they just die during the meta. And Diracho is already struggling to deal with the damage outlay coming in from the side of Gaimin Gladiators. But speaking of Diracho, him and the crew are top lane right now. They're smoked up. They might come across Nightfall. Nightfall's been scouted. There's an Observer Watch here, Fluke.
Oh.
They have perfect vision of this Broodmother. The question is, can they kill him? And indeed they can. She is gone. She is dead. 50 seconds in the grave. Does have access to buyback. Unfortunately, they won't have much time to enjoy their success because they have to respond down bottom. There's exposed lane of Rax here. So they drop the mass serpent wards. They're coming in with everybody to try and defend this. The range racks are already destroyed. What can they do to try and stop this fight from happening? Diracho gets hexed up by Crit. The Arteezy Terrorblade has too much damage for Diracho to deal with. If he can't get himself away, he's definitely going to die. As Arteezy melts him with the TB, melts the Rax as well in the process. And they're now on the cusp of winning this opening game number 1. And really solidifying themselves as the best team here in group number A.
Yeah, it seems like Ace has been forced to Primal Split here, but everybody else on EG is back and ready. The Hex comes down, and the Shackle's on top for good measure, just utilizing the last little moments here of the Metamorphosis. So, EG, as you said, looking really strong right now. Looking really, really good. They took the first lane of Rax, and Gaimin Gladiators, you can see that they do have damage if they isolate some of these members, but fighting into the BKBs is going to be hard. Fighting into the Aegis is going to be even harder. So EG understand that, and they just try and take whatever they can. They're not here to, it's a famous Australian saying that I can't say on stream right now, but they're not here to muck about with spiders. They are here for getting the dubs, and they're here for the 2-0 up against Gaimin Gladiators, because as we said earlier on, if they go to a 12-2 in their current group standings, they haven't confirmed upper bracket because there still are a few results that can go against them, but they put themselves in the best possible position to finish at the top of their group, considering the matches they have left for the group stages here.
Yeah, especially with the unfortunate news regarding their later on opponent today, meaning that the game is probably not going to be as difficult as they imagined it was going to be coming into it. But EG, this game isn't over just yet. They still have to close it out. Many, many times have we seen teams coming back. And in fact, Gaimin Gladiators have been one of the teams that has made a habit of coming back from unwinnable situations. So they still have an opportunity here. It's just unfortunate that they're playing Drow instead of like SF, Morphling, these uber hyper carries. But still, Drow is not to be ignored. She's building into the Silver Edge. The big thing is going to be her trying to get access to this Aghanim Shard. Start stacking up those hypothermia frost arrows. Make life a little bit more difficult for Arteezy. But because he is sitting with this Paladin sword, it's obviously going to start becoming very influential in the midst of these fights. But he's so strong right now. How do you even start a fight on the side of GG to ensure that you can win it, given the relative strength differences between the two squads?
I think you try and blow up Crit. I think you try and blow up Nightfall as well. I think you try and go into the back with the Rolling Thunder. You pummel split on the front line, see if you can toss up Arteezy into the air, just leave him in there for a couple of seconds, and just see if you can kill everybody else. They've already done a good job at getting Arteezy about half HP right now. He still has the Aegis, so it'll be a good time for them to go.
Sunder will come out though from Arteezy. He wants to bring down Tofu. Not going to be able to do so, but Tofu might still die here. And a huge crit from the Terrorblade does end off killing off crit. And now here we go. Arteezy turns his attention back to Celery. Tofu and Celery both buy back, and Arteezy taking a lot of damage from Dyraicho. The Rolling Thunder from Broom creating space on the back end of the fight. And with the second life, can they kill him? There's no BKB available from him. The Static Storm is there. The lockdown is there. The damage is out. And Arteezy is gone. Abed couldn't save him, and Abed, his BKB expired just before his TP completed. He almost died himself. He does escape, but it doesn't seem like Crit will be enabled to do the same. They are able to kill Arteezy, but it's expensive. They lost 2 lanes of racks, both top and bottom. They lost 2 heroes who had to buy back in their supports. And now neither of them have any other options if they die again, and they only have 1 lane of racks remaining.
It was a really good fight that came in there from Gaimin Gladiators. They did a good job at just kiting out Arteezy's BKB. They got him to a point there where he's just in a very, very rough scenario. He gets stunned up by the Pangolier. I really like what Ace did as well. He threw this vent up into the air, so it meant that there wasn't any more of these war cries, wasn't any more of these storm hammers. Would have liked to have seen him maybe try and isolate Nightfall as well a little bit here, maybe even crit, but EG did a good job at making sure that they didn't lose too many members, because that could have been a scenario where they could have potentially lost, more out of that. But Arbed as well as Nightfall getting out of that is always good. And Boom did say to us in the lobby, "I'll be ready for another 60-minute game." So I mean, Gaimin Gladiators they're starting to put on a show for us right now. I mean, if they go 60 minutes here against EG, then I feel like Boom has fulfilled his promise to us. So. In the lobby, I'll be ready for another 60-minute game. So I mean, Gaimin Gladiators they're starting to put on a show for us right now. I mean, if they go 60 minutes here against EG, then I feel like Boom has fulfilled his promise to us. So they definitely need a few more fights like that, though. They definitely need to be able to try and take down Arteezy, who's already seen how relatively straightforward it is for them to kill Arteezy once. Once he gets this Skadi up and running, though, it's going to be a little bit harder for them to take him down as easily. But they at least have shown us that they can do it. And I think that's the biggest thing for me is looking at this single core for both these two teams. They've proven to us that they can take down Arteezy here on the Terrorblade, but also in the same vein, Dyraicho has to be very, very careful with how he's positioning and how he's using his BKB here on the trail.
To be fair, Dota 2 is often a game of confidence, and now that the proof of concept has been displayed that, hey, it's actually possible for us to win team fights, that might buoy the confidence of the side of GG. Like you mentioned, though, Dyraicho has to be very careful with his positioning, but EG, clearly they have to be equally as careful. In the event that Arteezy here gets caught out like he did, he can die. And that was with the Aegis, and he still ended up dying twice. So after the Skadi, he might still decide for another defensive item like a butterfly or something, or a more hybrid item like that. We shall see. But he is the primary win con on the side of EG. By that same token, for Gaimin Gladiators, they know that if they can reliably start dealing with Arteezy, then suddenly their path back into this game is very, very clear. This game is a lot closer than the 19k gold lead, 2 lanes of racks down, and 98% win probability would lead you to believe.
Yeah, and I think that is just kind of goes to show the strength of the team fighting heroes that Gaimin Gladiators have, right? Like, if you misstep a little bit too much when you're going up against the Static Storm and you're going up against the Rolling Thunder, even the Primal Split, we've seen a lot of these good brew players have been able to do a lot of work with the Primal Split. We already saw in that previous fight how long that fly was up in the air for. So it gets to the point now where Ace is able to abuse this comeback minus that he's had you know, for the last couple of minutes or so, then Gaimin Gladiators can start to wrangle back this game, but it is a very, very large hill that they have to try and overcome right now, and all it really takes is, you know, EG walking in, getting their BKBs going, taking down this tier 3 tower, and I think from Mega Creeps it's going to be very, very hard for Gaimin to come back.
Gaimin Gladiators sort of stuck inside their own base right now, hoping against all hope that they have enough time, but I'm gonna start the smoke out. Let's see where they lead themselves into. They've just picked up the Silver Edge here for the Drow Ranger, so they really want to reveal this in the midst of the fight as well.
They also have the Lotus Orb on Tofu, so it means that RT's going to have... Oh, no, they all walked into the Spinner's Snare.
Oh, God. Well, that's why we buy the Aghanim Scepter, baby.
Oh, that is so awkward.
Oh,
no.
Feels bad,
Well,
man.
smoke's over, boys.
Unfortunately,
No,
there's
he went
another
back
one.
into another
Celery
one.
rebounded into it, so they just jump him. Arteezy
Oh,
comes in with the Hurricane
no.
Pike, right clicks him down, insta kill onto the Celery Mossy. Without buyback either, he bought back for the last engagement, so they know for a fact on the side of EG that they'll be dealing with a 4v5 push. And look where the creep wave is. It's already here. They've got a Spiderling army. GG, it's going to be a hard one. If they drop down these mass serpent wards. Boom, Rolling Thunder. Only connects onto the illusion though. Oh no, Fluke might be staring at the end of the game. Rock throw coming in from Arbiter, connects onto Tofu, but look at Boom, just dying to roll right clicks. Can buy back though, will be forced into it as they're going onto Tofu as well. With these right clicks, he's gone too as a dieback onto him. DeRicho will fare no better as he's caught out by Fly, but gets that bailed out at the very end there. BKBs are being popped by Nightfall and the crew to back off from DeRicho, who's outlaying an absurd amount of damage, but now his BKB is over. They're coming at him with Arbit. The Pulverize is ready if they need it, and indeed it comes out. DeRicho is gone. Ace on the Brewmaster is going to follow him as there's no split remaining, and that's 4 heroes dead, all of them without buyback, and EG will throw themselves into a situation where they are now at the top of the group with 11 wins. They end off by killing off Boom. Oh, they don't actually get the kill onto him, but who the hell cares? EG take the victory. GG cannot do it. And they are in a position where they are looking like one of the best teams in the tournament.
Yeah, that was a sick game that came in there from EG. My heart broke when they walked past the Spinner's Snare.
GG cannot do it. And they are in a position where they are looking like one of the best